Hello, this is a follow-up video for our OAuth approval process to answer the specific queries raised by the approving team. So from the top, we are now looking at our add-on TrainingRoom for Slides, which is linked to this cloud platform project under which we have applied for our OAuth consent screen. Project number is 987-405-673-286. This is our app script, and we will test this as an add-on. We will test it with our Health and Safety 101 test file. Okay, here we go. So we'll kick this off for our OAuth consent. This is our consent screen showing our app name, TrainingRoom for Slides, and we'll verify that it has the correct client ID in the URL. Here we go. So there we have it in the URL. Our client ID is 987-405-673-286. So we'll continue with the OAuth consent. Training for Slides wants access to our Google account, and there's our scopes. And the subject of this video is in particular the Drive scope here at the top. So we're going to allow that. So just to finish off, we'll start the add-on and then we will return to the code to show how we are actually using the Drive scope. So our add-on opens a sidebar. The sidebar loads a web page from our Firebase hosting. And we will log in there. So I've already previously associated this presentation with a course inside our platform. So you'll see I have configured a checkpoint here, and I have configured a question here. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. I'm going to go back to the code to show how we use the Drive scope. We have a very specific use for the Drive scope, and it's only in relation to this specific file, this specific document. So we only use it from this sidebar with this ID. So now into the code. So here's our code. We see here at the top, this is where we start, and we load up our sidebar. The way our code works is in two parts. The first part is the sidebar itself, which does not use the Drive scope, but this code is also published as an API executable. And from this web page, when we are finished here to do our update, we actually call back to this present slides function. And what you will see is that this present slides function takes in an ID, and it only works with one specific ID, which is the ID called back from this document. So we're not looking for any wide scope to go through a user's Drive folder. We're only interested in this specific ID. So I go through how we use it, and then finally I go through why we use it. So the first thing we do under our Drive scope is, I'm just going to search here just to make it easy. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is we're getting the videos that are embedded in the file. Because we're an online training platform, we need to get the videos that are within the file. So we're getting the video ID and we're sharing that with our platform. Our platform will then copy that video ID for use in our training. The next thing we are doing under our Drive scope is we are getting the file ID here to run our convert slide to PNG. So what we're doing is we're making a copy of the slide, the copy ID, and we are then saving all of the slides as images in order for us to use in our platform. So you'll see here we have original slide URLs, which are the slides with all of their content, and we have a modified slide URL. What we do to make a modified slide URL is we remove the text boxes, and I'll show you why we do that in a little minute. Finally then, the last thing we do after saving the slides off as images is we actually delete the copy that we've made, the working copy. And that is how we use the Drive scope. So number one, we copy the slides presentation. Number two, we share the videos. Number three, we then convert all the slides to images. And then finally, number four, we delete the copy. So that is how we use the Drive scope. So then you ask the question, why do we use it? The reason why we use it is, if I take you right over to our app, this is our app running as our trainee would see it. This is a test account. So you see here, this is called the original, and this is the original slide as you see it here. Like this. Now, what we have built into our application is automatic translation using Google Translate, no doubt. So here I can select a language in any of the Google Translate languages. So I'll translate to Afrikaans, and you'll see that the text is translated to Afrikaans, but the background image stays the same. So this is how we achieve this, by making this modified slide URL where we've removed the text and saved the text in our database to allow us to translate it and overlay it on the background slide. And our last question in our email is to demonstrate that the functionality was achieved. So here I am, and I'm going to update this. So just to show you how this works, I will update this slide here right in front of you so you can see it, and I'm going to call it 101-1. Now I will update that course like this. This runs our update routine, which again is calling that present slide function. So it takes a little while. Course updated successfully, and now we will look at our bucket, and we should refresh that, and we should see some images, which we do. And when we look at those images, we should see an original. So this is an original, and we should then see modified. Okay, let me just make sure I get the right one here. I don't know how to get the right one there, really. Let's just see. Oh, excuse me now. No, I'm not doing the right thing here. Let's see if I can just see an original. Okay, that's an original, which has text. And there's our original, which is the same as this one. So you can see that that is straight in. Okay, I'm hoping you're getting the idea from this. I don't really want to go through all of the slides. There's a modified slide. The text is gone. Text is gone. You've seen that slide earlier. So there we go. That's the functionality was achieved. Now I hope that that has answered our questions for the OAuth consent. Again, in relation to that sensitive drive scope, we are only interested in a very narrow application. We're only accessing one file, which is a file that is being operated on by the user. So when they click our update button, they're supplying us that file ID with their consent. We're not interested in any other file in the user's drive. All we want to do is make a copy of that file, a working copy. We delete the text off that working copy in order to make the background image that we then upload to our platform, which our user will then see in our admin app, which is here. Health and Safety 101, there it is. And this is our previewer that our user uses in their admin app. So you can see Health and Safety 101-1. So that's our admin app. And like I discussed earlier, this is our trainee app. So thank you very much for your time. Of course, if you have any follow-up questions, I would be delighted to answer them. And thank you again.